Welcome back. Anti-Israeli protests raging for months across college campuses. I'm talking about across the country, taking people by surprise. Many people by surprise, including me. The campus chaos leading to thousands of arrests, many suspensions, and many Ivy League schools like Columbia even canceling traditional graduation ceremonies, essentially caving to the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian mobs. But my next guest says none of this should be a surprise. Thanks to his original supporting, you're about to find out why. He is calling out Columbia University specifically for cultivating the precise conditions that allowed hate to flourish. And nothing's changed. Chris Rufo writing in part this: the university built massive departments to advance post-colonials, spend hundreds of millions of dollars on diversity, equity, and inclusion, I know, and glorify new left-style student activism as the telos of university life. Joining us right now is Manhattan Institute's senior fellow and City Journal contributing editor Chris Rufo. Chris, so you went in and found out what the staff, the faculty at Columbia has been teaching its students. What did you learn?
That's right. Columbia has been really the leading university in the United States pushing what's called post-colonial theory. It's also known as decolonization theory. The idea is that Israel and also the United States are illegitimate oppressor nations that have illegitimately seized land and territory, whether in the United States or in current-day Israel, and they have to be resisted by physical force, by violence, whether it's by indigenous movements in the United States or the Palestinians overseas. Columbia has spent hundreds of millions of dollars on a DEI infrastructure promoting this kind of ideology. They've hired dozens of radical left-wing decolonial scholars, and they're pushing this ideology for decades. And so it was only a matter of time before it would flare up like we've seen in recent months.
Yeah, you said the DEI program, you found out $185 million into it. Do you believe that? So when did this start?
This started actually in the early 2000s. That's when they really established these first DEI programs. They're spending, tens of millions of dollars a year now on these programs. And look, they don't advance scholarship. They don't advance knowledge. They aren't about effective teaching in the classroom. They're about making the entire administration, the entire university really, a home for left-wing political activism. And if that's not bad enough, taxpayers are subsidizing this kind of ideology with billions of dollars across all of the Ivy League institutions. And so when you're seeing these campus protests, when you're seeing these radical anti-Israel rhetoric, taxpayers should know that you are in part footing the bill. It's
unbelievable because we also have to find out who's donating to these schools outside our country. The UAE, Saudi Arabia. Where's this donor list? You found both of them have donated substantially, and that seems to be their philosophy in their own countries. Among the people upset on the left is Senator John Fetterman. He was given an honorary degree from Yeshiva, and you see what he does. He takes off his Harvard hood. Watch.
And for me personally, I do not fundamentally believe that it's right for me to wear this today.
So he was honored for standing up for Israel by Yeshiva, and they gave him a sustained applause. Bill Maher, also somebody from the left who doesn't understand where this came from. Are we beginning to turn the page on this now that we have the spotlight on it?
Yeah, I think we are. We're seeing pressure, moving from right to left, where even people in the reasonable center are now seeing exactly what's been going on campuses. And, whether it's John Fetterman or Bill Maher, these are people who should have seen it coming. Many of us have been warning about these precise conditions that have been created on campuses. And that said, however, we have to welcome them into this big coalition because, look, here's the fundamental thing that people need to understand. Anti-Semitism on campus is the smallest nesting doll. The second one is kind of anti-white, anti-European sentiment. And the third one is anti-American and anti-West sentiment. These are all nesting doll ideologies. These are all part and parcel. They go together. We have to not only defeat one of them, we have to defeat all of them. And we'll welcome anyone into our coalition to do so.
Absolutely. And we got to find out who's teaching our kids. And I'm just going to say this. Edward Said, the first member. Edward Said was the first to translate different type of doctrine over there in these schools. And you had this other Rashida Khalidi, basically Middle Eastern Studies professor from the PLO. So fantastic. That's who's teaching the kids for $70,000. More good news. DEI. More and more companies and colleges walking away from it. The latest MIT, Fortune 100 companies, they're beginning to say this is unsustainable. We're out, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And in fact, legislators are taking action. We've now abolished the DEI departments in public universities in 5 states, with more to come soon. And even left-wing tech companies in Silicon Valley have slashed DEI departments by up to 90%. They're realizing that it's bad for the bottom line, that it's bad for company culture, and that it pits employees against one another on the basis of their ancestry. This is wrong. It's wrong in every institution. And I, for one, will not stop fighting until it's gone everywhere in this country.
Absolutely. Chris, thanks so much for your great work. Appreciate you sharing with our audience. All right.
Thank you.
You got it. Meanwhile, next, I go one-on-one with Charlamagne the God to talk everything from the pressure he feels to endorse President Biden again to how he really feels about the vice president.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.
You need to watch this if you struggle with feeling heard. What's something people don't know about unlocking their desires? It's simpler than you think. Picture this. New York, rush hour, everybody's hustling, but sometimes you just gotta stop and ask for what you want. Jesus laid it out pretty clear. Ask and it's yours. Seek and you'll find. Knock and that door's gonna swing wide open. Now, I ain't talking about whispering into the wind here. I'm talking about the kind of asking with conviction, the kind of seeking like it's Black Friday at Macy's, and the kind of knocking that says, hey, I mean business. So what's the real secret? It's all about taking action with a capital A. You gotta be bold, you gotta be persistent, and most importantly, you gotta believe it's already yours. That's not just spirituality, that's street smart wisdom right there. So next time you're aiming for something, remember, just ask, seek, knock. And hey, don't just stand there, go get what you want.